In a quiet New York suburb, Amber Donovan's world was small but full of love. Her modest, 20-year-old apartment was filled with the laughter she shared with her 8-year-old daughter, Emma. As a single mother working at a mid-sized marketing firm, Amber's life was a delicate balancing act of long commutes, childcare, and fatigue. But Emma's smile, a perfect mirror of her own large brown eyes and gentle spirit, was a constant source of strength. "Mom, I got a perfect score on my math test," Emma would announce. Bursting with the day's news, Amber would hug her tightly, making a silent vow, "No matter what, I will give you the best life possible." This promise felt especially heavy during the holidays, a time when the chasm between Amber's world and her family's became impossible to ignore. Her parents, Judith and Howard Clark, lived in an opulent Westchester County home. Howard, a retired pharmaceutical executive, and Judith, a former teacher turned socialite, had always favored Amber's younger sister, Olivia, a high-powered lawyer married to a surgeon, with a picture-perfect life to match. The favoritism was a familiar, aching melody. While Olivia's achievements were met with lavish celebration, Amber's choices, from art school to her marriage to a web designer, were dismissed as impractical. The refrain, "Why can't you be more like Olivia?" had scored Amber's entire life. This Christmas, Amber hoped would be different. She had saved meticulously from overtime to buy Emma the Princess Stella doll she desperately wanted. As they drove to her parents' house on Christmas Eve, Emma clutched a tin of homemade cookies decorated with red and green ribbons. "Do you think Grandma and Grandpa will like them?" Emma asked, her voice laced with hope. "Of course, sweetheart, you made them with love," Amber said, her smile masking a swirl of dread. They were greeted at the door by a critical Judith. "You're late." Olivia's family arrived half an hour ago. When Emma proudly presented the cookies, Judith accepted the tin with a perfunctory, "Thank you," and set it aside on a hall table. Forgotten. The living room was a spectacle of glittering affluence. A magnificent tree stood guard over a small mountain of gifts. Olivia's son, Michael, was already engrossed in a new tablet, barely glancing up as they entered. The conversation over an elaborate dinner revolved entirely around Olivia's new case, Brian's latest professional accolade, and Michael's achievements. Summoning her courage, Amber quietly interjected, "Emma won an art award at school, too." "That's nice," Judith said, before immediately turning back to Olivia. "Now, tell us more about that corporate merger." Then came the gift exchange. Michael was showered with an electric miniature car, a new game console, a science kit, each unwrapping met with delighted cheers. Olivia and Brian received luxury branded tokens of appreciation. Finally, Emma's turn came. She reached for the one small package with her name, her eyes shining with the hope of the Princess Stella doll. Judith's voice cut through the anticipation. "Emma, I'm sorry," she said, her face a mask of false regret. "We couldn't afford to buy you a present this year." The room fell into a stunned silence. Emma's smile dissolved into confusion, her eyes darting to the pile of loot surrounding her cousin. "We have to be mindful of our retirement medical expenses," Howard added, unable to meet Amber's gaze. Amber's blood ran cold, but she kept her voice steady for her daughter's sake. "It's all right, Emma. Santa's presents are waiting for us at home." Emma, with a heartbreaking maturity, managed a small, wobbly smile. "I understand, Grandma. Money is important, isn't it?" The ride home was quiet. Later that night, after tucking a sleeping Emma into bed, Amber finally allowed her tears to fall, muffling her sobs in a pillow. The final blow came a few days later. Scrolling through social media, Amber stumbled upon Olivia's latest post. The photos were a vibrant collage of the Christmas they claimed they couldn't afford: Michael on a brand new electric scooter, the family at a luxury restaurant, and a beaming group photo with Judith and Howard. The caption read, "The best Christmas with family. Thank you for the wonderful presents and the finest dinner." Before Amber could hide the phone, Emma was beside her. "Wait, is that Michael's new scooter?" she asked, her voice small. "From Grandma and Grandpa?" She looked up at her mother, her intelligent eyes clouding with a painful understanding. "But they said they didn't have money." Her finger touched the screen gently. "Mom, aren't we family too?" In that moment, a lifetime of compromises shattered. Amber pulled her daughter into a fierce embrace. "We are family, Emma. You and I are enough." Just then, the doorbell rang. To Amber's astonishment, Judith and Howard stood on her doorstep, their faces streaked with tears, Judith's usually impeccable makeup smudged and ruined. "We saw the post," Judith whispered, her voice trembling as they shuffled inside. We've made a terrible mistake." "A mistake?" Amber's voice was dangerously calm. "You have spent a lifetime showing me I was second best. I learned to live with that. But you will not teach my daughter that she is less than anyone." "We were wrong," Howard conceded, his shoulders slumped. "We are truly sorry. Please, give us a chance to make it right." From the hallway, a small, clear voice spoke. Emma stood there, not hiding, but facing them with a wisdom beyond her years. "If you don't love me," she said, "that's your loss. I'm happy because I have Mom." Judith broke down completely. "We do love you, Emma," Howard choked out. "We just failed." "Are you really sorry?" Emma asked, her gaze unwavering. "Can you keep your promises?" "It's late," Amber said, her decision crystallizing. She guided her parents to the door, her protectiveness a solid wall around her small family. "We need time." As they left, Judith placed a small, hastily wrapped box on the table. "For Emma," she murmured, "the one I should have given her." When the door closed, Amber knelt and held Emma tight. "Are you okay?" "Yes," Emma said, her smile genuine this time. "We're a strong team, right? The strongest." In the weeks that followed, Amber channeled her resolve into a new project at work and freelance jobs on the side, building a future on her own terms. She maintained a cordial but firm distance from her parents, their calls answered briefly, their visits postponed. Sitting on a park bench one weekend, sipping hot chocolate, Emma looked at her mother. "What are we going to do about Grandma and Grandpa?" "What do you think we should do?" Amber asked, valuing her daughter's heart above all. Emma considered this. "I'm still angry, but everyone makes mistakes. If they're really trying, maybe we can give them a little chance." Amber felt a surge of pride for the kind, resilient human she was raising. "Not a full chance. Not yet," she agreed, "but perhaps a small one." From a distance, they sat in comfortable silence, the weak winter sun warming their faces. The path ahead wouldn't be easy, but for the first time, Amber was certain they would walk it on their own terms, their small family of two more complete than it had ever felt in the shadow of her parents' grand house. Spring arrived, bringing with it a tangible shift in the Donovan household. The success of Amber's West Coast project didn't just land her a promotion and a 20% raise, it planted a seed of unshakable confidence. When her boss, Martha, announced the news, Amber accepted it not with giddy surprise, but with a quiet, earned pride. That evening, she brought home a celebratory cake. "Mom, that's amazing," Emma cheered, her joy a radiant echo of her mother's inner triumph. "We should celebrate," Amber smiled, pulling her daughter close. "And I promise you, Emma, next Christmas will be different." "Being with you is already special," Emma replied, her innate kindness shining through. Then, with a playful glint in her eye, she added, "But if there's a Princess Stella castle involved, I wouldn't complain." Their shared laughter filled the apartment, a sound that now seemed to soak into the very walls, making their home feel larger. As the seasons turned, their lives blossomed in tandem. Amber, now a respected team leader, carried herself with a new authority. Emma thrived, her creative writing and science projects earning accolades that Amber displayed with a curator's pride. The relationship with her parents, Judith and Howard, entered a tentative new phase. They called on Emma's birthday and listened with genuine interest to her achievements. But Amber held a part of herself in reserve, her heart a cautious fortress. Forgiveness was a theory, she needed to see it in practice. When the Christmas season returned, it found Amber and Emma in a new, spacious apartment, a direct result of Amber's latest promotion. This year, there was no anxiety, only the quiet thrill of anticipation. As Amber confidently purchased the coveted Princess Stella castle, Emma posed the question. "Mom, are we inviting Grandma and Grandpa?" Amber, wanting to honor her daughter's wisdom, turned the question back to her. "What do you think?" Emma's face grew serious. "I think we should. Everyone makes mistakes, but they need to keep their promises." When Judith and Howard arrived at the door, they were met not with coldness, but with a dignified welcome. The air hummed with unspoken apologies and fragile hope. Amber's home was a testament to her success, warm, inviting, and filled with the evidence of Emma's talents. The party was a symphony of casual joy, attended by Amber's friends and colleagues. Judith watched, her eyes wide with a dawning realization. As others spoke of her daughter with deep respect and affection, she saw a version of Amber she had deliberately overlooked for years, capable, beloved, and utterly complete without their approval. The gift exchange was the true crucible. Emma's ecstatic reaction to the Princess Stella castle was a pure, uncomplicated joy. Then, Judith nervously presented her own gift. Emma unwrapped a delicate silver bracelet, its star-shaped charm catching the light. "It was my mother's," Judith explained, her voice thick. "And now it belongs to you. You are our precious granddaughter." The words, simple and long overdue, settled over the room. This was not just a gift. It was an heirloom, a tangible symbol of belonging. Emma's soft, "thank you," was a bridge they could finally cross. Later, in the kitchen, Judith found her moment. "You are a wonderful mother," she said, the words feeling foreign yet right on her tongue. "We were wrong. I regret it every day." Amber met her mother's gaze, the old hurt a fading scar. "We can't change the past, but if you can be the fair, loving grandparents Emma deserves, then you are welcome in our future." The true test came at Emma's science fair. When Amber and Emma arrived, Judith and Howard were already there, waiting proudly by Emma's project on plant growth. Howard, true to his word, listened with rapt attention. When Emma won the Creative Approach Award, they rose as one to applaud, a unified front of support. Over a celebratory dinner, Howard cleared his throat. "Amber, we've spoken with Olivia. It's a process, but we've made a decision." He glanced at Judith, who nodded in encouragement. "No more favorites. We've opened an education fund for Emma, identical to Michael's." Amber was silent, weighing the offer. It was a significant gesture, but her hard-won independence was non-negotiable. "Thank you," she said finally. "I accept this for Emma, but my condition is this. We have built our own happiness. Our relationship must be one of equals. Support, yes. Control, never." "It's a promise," Judith said, and for the first time, Amber believed her. "Family means loving and cherishing each other, right?" Emma chimed in, her simple words cutting to the heart of the matter. Around the table, a new family dynamic was quietly, firmly, born. 3 years later, the logo of Donovan Digital Marketing gleamed on a downtown New York office wall. Amber, now the founder of her own thriving firm, moved with an authority that was both calm and commanding. The ghost of the undervalued daughter was long gone. "Mom, are you finished?" Emma, now an poised 11-year-old, peeked into the office. Grandma and Grandpa landed. The relationship with her parents had deepened into something genuine. Retired in Florida, Judith and Howard visited often, their love for Emma now a constant, reliable force. The change had initially bewildered Olivia, forcing a painful but necessary introspection. The sisters' relationship was now a cautious, slowly mending tapestry. That evening, as Amber's family gathered in her apartment, the doorbell rang. On the doorstep stood Olivia, holding her young daughter Sophia, with Michael beside her. "Surprise," Olivia said, her voice laced with a hopeful uncertainty. "I heard the family was together." For a heartbeat, the past hung in the air. Then, Amber smiled, a genuine, open-hearted gesture. "Of course," she said, stepping aside. "Come in." As the apartment filled with the overlapping voices of 3 generations, Amber watched the scene, her proud parents, her tentative sister, her joyful niece and nephew, and her remarkable daughter. The most important lesson of her life was now her reality. Her worth was not a gift from others, but a fortress she had built herself, brick by brick, with hard work and boundless love, and within its strong, warm walls, there was finally room for everyone.